Governor, I know that your Department of Justice is investigating this, but you have to have an opinion. I'm guessing you think this is pretty unfair.
Well, of course. Look, when it comes to deciding how to tax the workers, the answer is you don't, right? And whether you're a state like New York or Massachusetts and you want to come and, you're worried about revenues and all of that kind of stuff, they're coming after our citizens, and we're gonna put up a fight for it. So COVID has changed the dynamic in so many different ways, whether it's families and businesses moving into New Hampshire, people understanding that they can work remotely with a good quality of life that we provide here with no income tax, no sales tax, great schools, safe state, all that great stuff. Everyone kind of wants to be in the Northeast in the right way right now, and well, the Live Free or Die state has a lot of those opportunities, and so they're going to want to try to pull every dollar they can, but we're going to stand up for our citizens and do the right thing.
Have you spoken with the governor of Massachusetts about this, Charlie Baker?
Oh, yeah. Charlie and I are great friends. I talked to him on the morning we kind of heard the story. And I said, look, I just want to let you know. I called him on the phone. I said, I just want to let you know we got to look into this. It seems to be this emergency rule that was passed in March. It kind of flew under the radar for a little bit. Now that there's this idea they're going to extend it, because I think people realize that working remotely is possible. You can have all that connectivity in a place like New Hampshire, but not have to be, in the dire straits of a New York City or Boston or Seattle or San Francisco. Folks are moving here. They're working remotely. They can stay with their business anywhere in the country, but still be right here in tax-free New Hampshire.
There was an article in the Vermont newspaper today about how months of COVID have undone decades of lower population in Vermont. I'm guessing the same is true in New Hampshire, just based on what you're saying. How many people have kind of come there and decided that they're going to be working from there? Maybe it was a second home, or maybe they're new to the state completely.
We're booming. We're absolutely booming. People are buying real estate sight unseen. They're coming from all across the country. Especially here in the Northeast, right? So let's say you're in New York. You have a mayor that doesn't know what he's doing. You have years of terrible policy out of Albany. People have choices, and 2020 is making them drive them to those decisions. I mean, it's like they put a big sign on the Brooklyn Bridge that said, last one out, turn out the lights. And everyone is finally saying, look, we're going to come up to a place like New Hampshire or Maine or Vermont. We can have that connectivity, that great quality of life, schools, and safety. Safety is a big issue we hear with folks, young families, right? If you want to be in the heart of a city, but you have whether it's riots or COVID or whatever it might be, young families are finally realizing, why pay all this money for that quality of life when we can still be connected, but be in a place like New Hampshire where they're not hitting us with taxes, the government doesn't get in our way, it's a government that promotes business, not fights it.
Governor, you're lucky enough to have a state where there are no taxes, but your citizens are deriving a lot of economic benefit from Boston and Massachusetts. What is the right way going forward after COVID to tax people who live in New Hampshire, don't go to Massachusetts much, but derive a lot of benefit from the companies there? How would you structure that after COVID?
So let me clarify something. We're not lucky for not having taxes. We have fought hard to create a New Hampshire advantage. Democrats try to put income taxes on my desk all the time, and I veto that garbage because the New Hampshire advantage is real. We've structured a model that works. And so when it comes to taxes, the key isn't a revenue problem. We don't have revenue problems, right? Regardless of what the costs are, you can always manage within the revenue that you have. It takes some innovation. It takes.
But you're deriving a benefit from Massachusetts. How do you structure that if you're Massachusetts?
How do I structure that if I'm Massachusetts? Let Massachusetts figure that out. You don't come and start taxing people across the border. You don't start creating new rules and new gimmicks because you haven't created a successful model like New Hampshire has, right? So, of course, we're going to defend our citizens and defend our businesses, and that's why they're flooding over here. They're putting their headquarters here. Families are moving here. They're working remotely here, right? So my problem is my job isn't to worry about how Massachusetts taxes. They've created a structure where they've become dependent on taxes, dependent on abusing citizens and businesses, dependent on a system that puts government first, not the individual. That's where New Hampshire really succeeds. We believe that government is there to enhance the individual. What's your problem? Let's figure out what it is and create a path for you, and then get the heck out of your way. And when you do that, you can create massive efficiencies in government. You can have local control, so locals are really making the decisions. So when you do have taxes at a localized level, you as an individual are having a lot more say in terms of how those dollars are spent. It creates a massively more inefficient, more efficient system. When it comes to the New Yorks and the Massachusetts and the Californias trying to pick the pockets of the people in New Hampshire, we're going to stand up for them every time.